I'm definitely going to want to make some fetch requests to my API in several places of the application. And I don't want to have to duplicate this API URL. It looks kind of funny. And on top of that, I also don't want to have to deserialize the JSON response into a JavaScript object. I feel like that's kind of a generic thing that I could do in one place and then not have to worry about it everywhere else. And so we're going to extract this into some utility. And the way that I want to use this utility is I want to be able to say client and then pass just the part of the URL that is relevant for what I'm doing. So we'll say, here's my template literal. We'll stick that right in there. And here we can format that a little bit nicer. And then we'll just take all of this stuff out and I'll put that in my clipboard. And this is the way I should be able to use that. Okay, so take all of the rest of that stuff out of here and make it generically useful and available everywhere else. So where are we going to get this client? Well, I'm going to pull the client from utils API client. So let's go into that module and make this client be the thing that we want to have exist. So actually, I've got this in my clipboard already. We call window.fetch and we're just going to return that promise. And this is the part that we kept. So I'm going to get rid of that. And instead, we'll just pass the endpoint that we're given. And then as the second argument, we're going to pass the custom config. Great. And then we'll handle deserializing that JSON into a JavaScript object. And we should be good to go with this. So let me save this, save that, come over here. Let's make sure we can still find Zach's book. And there it is. Awesome. I'm going to just do one other thing here. Just to future-proof us, I'm going to make an actual config object that's going to merge in the custom config that they are passing me, and I'm going to specify the method of get right here. And instead of passing the custom config now, I'll pass the config that I'm creating internally. And that should make it a little bit easier for us to generate some of this config in future exercises. So in review, what we did here is recognizing that we were going to be making a lot of requests to our API. We wanted to abstract the generic parts of that into a reusable API client. So we pulled all of that stuff out, put it into here, and then called that in the place where we extracted it, which will simplify any of the code that needs to make requests to our backend.